Let's go.
You said sure.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to the Matt Kim podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kim, joined by my co-host, Mr. Peter Saddington.
What's up, man?
Dude, you can't do that in the beginning of the show.
I love you. My heart is going out to you.
You're not allowed to do that in the beginning of the show. You gotta
sorry.
wait at least, I think, 90 seconds or 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or something like this before you do it.
Sorry, sir.
Hey. Well, can you get a counter and then you can let him know you can do it now? All right.
Can I do it now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to the show. Smash the like button. Let us know you're here. Let us know that you're having a fantastic day, wonderful day, amazing day. Because today we're gonna get a topic that,
Are the portals opening up?
bro, I don't even know how to start this because I was so pissed off when I heard this.
Tell me more.
So today we're gonna talk about the Stargate project.
Yes. Lots of money coming into that thing.
$500 billion.
Actually, it's in the trillions.
For people that are not aware, President Trump, in his very first press conference, first thing he does as president,
Yep.
he addresses everyone and he says, I'm going to do a press conference, everyone. This is the most important thing. This is the first thing I want to talk about.
Yeah. Not Ukraine, not Israel, Palestine, but technology.
And he says, we're going to launch something called the Stargate project. And he rolls out Sam Altman. He rolls out Larry Ellison. And he rolls out Mashi, last name, something, from SoftBank.
Yep.
Mashi, by the way, is Korean. Did you know that?
I thought it was Japanese.
He's Korean Japanese. He's Korean, but he was born and raised in Japan.
He's kind of a boss, though.
Yeah, he's Korean. Interesting. Anyway, doesn't matter. He's part of the dystopian future. And these two guys come out on stage, and he's like, we're gonna do Project Stargate, and it is a $500 billion investment, $100 billion to start, going up to $500 billion, probably ramp up from there.
Oh, it's in the trillions. There's so much money coming in right now.
And we are going to open up these data centers all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
And President Trump and Larry Ellison, which we will get into Larry Ellison, we will get into Sam Altman, we will get into Bill Gates, who owns OpenAI, who is associated with Sam Altman. We will get into Reid Hoffman, who is associated with Sam Altman. We will get into
Elon
and his association via PayPal with Sam Altman. We will get into all of that.
We're going to go. We're going, guys. We're going light speed into the Stargate.
But he introduces everyone, and the thing that got me was when he introduced Larry Ellison.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let's insert the clip right here.
Okay, clip.
Okay, clip. They are chucking it up like they are best friends.
Best buddies.
I'm like, dude, Larry Ellison is like the devil.
The way that they were kind of winking and smiling at each other, it almost seemed like a club and you're not in it.
It was so disgusting. And he's like, yeah, these guys are great entrepreneurs and these guys are going to change the future and we're going to beat China. And Larry Ellison comes out and he's like, yeah, we need to build these data centers because we need to train the AI because through AI, we're going to do AI machine learning and we're going to make AI-driven mRNA vaccines for everyone to cure cancer.
Yes. So let's just sit for a second. We have these mRNA experimental drugs. They're not even vaccines. And apparently they're killing lots of people.
Well, DNA modifiers.
Yes. Apparently they're killing lots of people. But yet we have a solution.
Allegedly. Sorry, censors. Allegedly.
No evidence. But now
It took a lot of people dead, but no evidence.
we have a solution to that problem. More mRNA tech. It's almost like they create the problem and then they create the solution. Amazing, Matt.
So there have been countless studies linking the original version of the mRNA. I don't even want to say that COVID word because I don't even know if we're allowed to say that anymore.
Yeah.
They say you're allowed to, but I feel like
What
not.
should we call it? We should call it the juice.
Or we could just call it the China virus,
We should call it the Fauci virus.
the Fauci virus. The Fauci juice.
Fauci juice.
The Fauci juice.
I like the Fauci juice.
So
Just a small segue. Did Fauci get a pardon? What does that mean when you get a pardon? Because from what I heard, Matt, you can actually not accept the pardon. Is that true?
I believe the J6 community members did not accept the pardon because they said they didn't do anything wrong because they were just doing the job, which was really interesting to do.
So if we were to look at the legal stance, if you were to not accept the pardon and you were to say, I was just doing my job, then you are espousing and asserting that you did nothing wrong. So on the counter side of that, if you accept the pardon, one could assert that you did something wrong, Matthew.
The Fauci juice is questionable. At best.
Allegedly.
Allegedly questionable at best. All right. Really, we mean his shit was bad.
Dude, it was terrible for you.
And what we know is that there are countless studies out there that link the Fauci juice to the increase in cancer throughout the population. So the original Fauci juice increases and elevates the cases of cancer throughout the world. And then they create a second version of the Fauci juice funded by Sam Altman, who's a transhumanist, who's an evil person, funded by Larry Ellison, who's an evil person, who is this huge crazy Zionist.
He's Satanist.
And Bill Gates, who's behind there, funding the entire thing also.
But he's a good guy.
And all of a sudden, they're going to say that the second Fauci juice is going to save and solve the problems that the first Fauci juice created.
Thank you, masters. Thank you. Thank you.
How many times have we had this idea? They create the problem to solve it later, and always a solution is in, we're doing it for your safety. We're doing it to protect you, for your benefit. How many times have we heard that by now?
We've heard it a lot, and Matt, I'm beginning to believe it. I think the government actually loves me.
They love you.
They care about me.
We're here from the government, and we're here to help.
Oh, those famous words. I heard those famous words before, that we're from the government and we're here to help. Apparently, it's true.
And people will say, trust the plan. Don't worry. Keep your what Trump is doing is 4D chess, everybody. Keep your enemies close. Yeah. He's doing this so he can expose them later.
That's right. That's right. He's a master at 4D.
Is that why he's giving them billions of dollars?
Yes, so that he can rug pull them later somehow. Did you see the Andrew Schultz clip? Did you see that one?
About what's in my arm?
Yeah.
What's in my arm?
Dude, people are getting pissed. He's like, what's in my arm? What did you do? Why? You can't be taking the pardon, man. If you're going to be taking the pardon, I want to know what you put in my arm. Like, people are getting salty about this.
And I think we need to have Dr. Peter McCullough back on here, actually.
Please.
I feel like, now I think about this, with this news coming on, I think I'm going to ping Dr.
Things have
McCullough.
changed. Things have changed. Yeah, it'd be worth to get his opinion on what's going on.
Yeah, I would really actually want to know what he's thinking about this.
I like that interview that you did with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him up.
For everybody out there, if you haven't seen the first Peter McCullough interview with Matt Kim, make sure you go to YouTube, go check it out. It's worthwhile. Things have shifted. The timeline has shifted and changed, but his message is relatively the same.
And that episode got taken down, I think, in 40 minutes.
But it's still on Rumble, though, isn't it?
YouTube put it back.
Oh, they did? Oh.
They put it back after like 6 months.
Oh, because the narrative has shifted.
Yeah, they're like, oh, just kidding, we didn't delete it. Like, huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Anyway, go check it out, guys. Put some thumbs up on it. Comment on it. Bring it back alive. It's a worthwhile
we'll
episode.
link in the description to the conversation we had about Dr. Peter McCullough and mRNA vaccines.
So what you're saying, if I can put all this into one sentence, is that Trump, in his first press announcement, decided to let the world know that his most important thing, where he's putting all this money towards, is the tech oligarchy.
And I don't think he's putting in money. I don't think the United States is physically putting in cash. The tech companies are responsible to raise the cash.
They're getting lots of investment, yes.
The government, what they're doing is they're going to help deregulate it so that they can move faster, give them tax incentives, give them preferential treatment in certain areas so that they're able to build quicker, etc. So the United States government is supporting in other ways, but not actually giving money. Clarify.
So, on your Trump scorecard, is this a bad move?
Look, I don't know Trump's intent. there are two schools of thought here. One is that he just doesn't know. Maybe his advisors and people around him, and he trusts people that are extremely rich because he thinks they're rich because they're smart. So these guys are around, they're saying it's a good idea. Bill Gates shows up and Bill Gates like, yeah, like cancer is a real problem. We can fix it. And Trump's going, I can solve cancer. I can solve cancer? Let's do it. It could be.
Could be.
Or the other side is like, he's in it, he knows, and maybe in the comment section, you guys can let me know which one you think it is. I don't think that's the point of the discussion, although I don't like it.
I find it not to be a fair weather argument to say that he doesn't know. I feel like there have been many instances where he has relatively proven that the feedback and the support mechanisms and the people around him are actually helping him make good decisions. This seems like it's counterintuitive because he's essentially accelerating the tech oligarchy and accelerating more control over us. That's the way that I see it, Matt. Are you different on that?
I mean, what we do know for sure is that throughout the campaign season, he never mentioned the vax. And he deliberately stayed away from it because he knew that would be a polarizing issue. And the reason why RFK got so popular is because that's where the vote went for that was anti-vax. The anti-vax vote went to RFK.
And then he sucked it in.
And then Trump brought in the RFK vote. And a lot of people that came over from RFK were like, look, we'll vote for Trump because you have RFK and RFK will protect us on the vax thing. Interesting enough is that RFK has not tweeted about this, nor has he made any public mention about it. And he hasn't even been on X since December 27th.
Really?
The silence from RFK is really telling, actually.
It's deafening.
Why? I feel like, and a lot of people in this MAHA movement, which is a subsect of the MAGA movement, is like, dude, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. It almost seems like he was given counsel, right? Don't talk about this, brother. Let us shake things out first.
If Trump told the electorate that we are going to develop and invest in AI-driven mRNA vaccines, Trump would 100% have lost the election.
Oh no!
Sure.
If he had come out and said, yes, we're going to create even more mRNA tech, I don't think a lot of people would not vote for him based on that alone.
Just based on that alone,
I mean,
it doesn't mean they would have voted for Kamala. They would have just stayed home.
We just went through 3.5 years of hell with this lockdown and the Fauci juice.
Yeah.
And all the face diapers.
Yep.
And so what he's saying now is he's going to increase that. And so he is one step. This is what when I saw that thing, this is what made me nervous. By telling the world that he's accelerating research into this is just one step away from mandating usage.
I mean,
right?
What's the tech?
You spend the money to invest in the tech and the product. You have to make money back from that product or service. So they're not going to put $500 billion into this tech and have it earn nothing. It has to be used by the populace so that they can earn their investment back. Like, that's just how economics work.
And
this is a scary proposition. We're one step away from, hey, we put $500 billion into it. We better get our money back.
This is a tech play because, of SoftBank and of OpenAI and of Microsoft and of Oracle. How many of these companies are health or pharmacy companies?
They're all connected to them. They're all connected to them in so many different ways.
But how many of them are actually
zero?
Then why are they developing this?
Well, there are many people who love Bill Gates and say, hey, Bill Gates, you are a tech genius. And because you're a tech genius, you can also tell me what to put in my body. Because you're a tech genius. You're a Bill Gates, you have all the solutions. So people look at that stuff and they eat it up.
And this is a tech play.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then, as a venture capitalist, if you invest $500 billion,
I better be getting 10x, 20x on my return.
Yeah, what kind of return do you expect? Over 5-6 years of investment. What do you want on that money?
For that much money, 20 to 50x on my return.
trillions of dollars.
Brother, if I'm putting $500 billion in, I better get 10, 20x easy. Table
They're
stakes.
like, oh, it's 500 billion. So, no, they're not trying to generate $500 billion back and break even. They want to do a 10, 20, 50x on that investment.
Sure.
Do you know how many of these mRNA shots they have to give in order to get that money back? It means they're expecting to give it to everybody
on the planet. Kind of reminds me of that one SAR on X who was like, "You guys, I was so mad at you guys talking about the pooflingers.
SAR!
What are you guys talking about? My Indian compatriots, we helped ensure that the Fauci juice was spread to over 100 million people." It's like, you're just admitted to helping spread poison to the rest of the world?
You're proving our point.
I know, that's what you wrote. You're like, bro, you're proving our point, bro. He didn't say a whole lot after that. SAR.
They want to give it to everyone because that's the only way the economics of this works.
Of course. You have to give it to everyone. You have to make money back.
And, okay, say it's actually a good thing. Because what they want to do is they want to use AI to scan your body, scan your biometrics, scan your blood, and create custom mRNAs for each person individually saying this is good for you. Meaning they're not gonna test it on every single person because everyone gets a different one. You don't know what you're getting.
I'm waiting for the logic behind the good idea
But
here.
what if
There's nothing good that you've said so far.
what if this is because what they're going to tell us and what they're telling us is this is breakthrough technology. This is great for humanity. This is good for everyone. And when people say trust science, trust a plan, trust these people, there's a plan, whatever. Okay, if it is good, I still will not accept it until they admit the first was bad.
Ooh, well played. Well played.
If you can't admit that the first round of them was bad, you cannot expect us to trust that the second round is any better. You have to accept the fact that the first round of the Fauci juice was not good, that it was not successful, that it did not do what it was supposed to do, that it did not stop anyone from getting COVID, which is what we were told it would do, that it did not create, blood clots, that it did not. You need to prove to us, at least acknowledge the fact that something there was wrong. If you're going to tell us that it was perfect, that's bullshit. And I cannot, in good faith, trust you for the second round when you refuse to admit the failure of the first.
So here's my counter argument. It was perfect. It did work as intended. So what they're not saying is not wrong. They're just not telling you what that perfect means. They made this. They did the tests. They knew that when they did the placebo test, and we saw the documentation that it hurt more people in that placebo tests than ever before in any of the other research of other Fauci juices out there. And so they knew the intended purpose was to maim, harm, and kill humans. So when they look at you in the eye on that TV and say, it was perfect, it worked as intended, we as sheeple hear that and say, well, it seems like it killed a lot of people, so it actually really failed. No, they're not lying, Matt. It worked as designed. The purpose was depopulation. And so for them, remember, part of the Masonic plan is they have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it.
I don't think you can say the depop word.
Let's bleep that out. Sorry for the edit. It's part of the deleting individuals from the timeline. That was the purpose. So it was perfect. It did work, Matt. And this new mRNA technology is even more effective. So when they say it's more effective and it works and it's tailored to your needs, that means what they're really saying is we know exactly how this thing is going to infect you, maim, harm, and hurt you. We know exactly how to tailor it to you now because we have Larry Ellison, we have the half Japanese, half Korean, Gook, and we have the rapist.
Grapist.
We have the grapist on his sister who are going to lead us into the techno future.
It is wild that this is a thing. And people will say, no, I've heard this argument. Tell me what you think about this argument.
You look so pained.
It's like the most bullshit argument. They say the vaccines were necessary, and without the vaccines, then the states would have locked everyone down and put them in like concentration camps. So actually, the vaccines were a good thing because it stopped the bringing of people and putting them in camps. Because of the vaccines, it prevented that. That's the argument.
Oh, so the argument is we chose the lesser of two evils.
Isn't that the argument of all politics?
Pretty much.
Because everyone will say, well, what are you going to do? You're going to vote for Kamala? Okay, fine.
Fine. Yeah, fair enough. It is the argument for most politics, for sure, choosing the lesser of two evils. But in this regard, there is no winner. You choose the lesser of two evils, you're still fucked. That is the problem, is that they are creating policies, procedures, and constraints around us humans that no matter where you go, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, because you got Karen who's going to self-police and turn you in and say that you're not, putting the face diaper on. You're not distancing 6 feet. This type of nonsense. We have so many people in America and around the world that are still not unplugged, Matt. They will eat it hook, line, and sinker. They will put the triple diaper on their face, and they will gladly accept. As we saw, some will actually tattoo the manufacturer of their Fauci juice on their arm. You've seen that, right? You haven't seen that. You haven't. Will, go Google right now, like Pfizer tattoos. Yeah. I'm sure you're gonna find them. People actually love this stuff. They love the Fauci juice.
It's pretty wild, because another comment I got was that I don't care because I'm not gonna get it. That's the argument of I'm not doing anything illegal, so they can read all my texts. They can see everything, man. I got nothing to hide. Bullshit. You don't want the government in your bedroom. Period. Full stop. You don't want the government in your bedroom. It is an extremely selfish argument.
Yes, deeply.
Because maybe you won't. But somebody you love and care about will.
Yes.
And the only way to prevent that, and people say, no, they wouldn't. No, they will, because they did.
Yeah.
The propaganda machine will ramp up because, again, they will invest billions of dollars to propagandize you that this is important, that this is going to save the future, that you have to do this, that you're going to save grandma. This is the only way to save grandma, is that you all take this shot. You don't want to kill your neighbors, do you? You don't want to kill your loved ones, do you? You don't want to hurt those around you, do you? Think about grandma.
Think about grandma.
Take the shot.
You're right.
And they will ramp that up to 110%. And a huge segment of society will say, well, do you know what? I'm thinking about grandma. I want to do it. Because that's what happened last time.
It's exactly what happened last time.
And somebody you love, somebody you care about will believe it, and they will do it.
I like
Why?
this.
Because they've done it before.
Yes.
You can't say they won't. They've done it.
They broke once.
And it's almost not their fault, because of propaganda and fear porn and dangling grandma's life in front of you is the most evil thing they can do, and they've done it.
Oh, yeah.
And to trust those people again is fucking crazy.
I love this conversation so much, man. I love it so much. And I hope that everyone out there in the Free Thinker Army, in Discord, Telegram, Instagram, wherever you are, send this video to your homies. Send it to your families. And let me, the reason why I like this so much, Matt, is because we are telling you to not do it. Like, this is a public service announcement worthy, like, first 15 minutes of our talking. There's not enough people that are willing to just call it for what it is, Matt. It was poison. We were played as suckers. We got psychologically impaired. We got psyoped. Like, wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
So thank you, Matt, for your passion about this. Thank you, Matt, for the way that you communicate it. I hope everyone's listening. We cannot accept this again. And I say this with all the restraint that I have. I hope to Jesus that it doesn't happen.
Yes.
But the fact remains, Matt, probably going to happen.
The only way to even attempt to prevent it from happening is that people need to talk about it every single day.
And choose the line today. It's too late. when they're dangling grandma in front of you.
Yeah.
You haven't made the decision. You're under duress. You're under stress. And we all know that we make our best decisions when we're highly emotional, right? So, like, make the decision now where you're cogent, you're cognitively not impaired, and you do not have the pressure of grandma in front of you. Make the decision now of what you're going to do. If they say you got to take the new Fauci juice, the answer is no. The answer is no.
And
The answer is no.
And any creator, any commentator, anyone out there saying,
Well,
no,
I like where you're going with this.
let's just wait and see what happens, or they refuse to talk about it, or no, like there's a plan, or they make any sort of excuse to justify this action, fuck them.
They're compromised.
They are 100% compromised.
Compromised.
Because every single person knows in their heart this is a bad idea. And anyone that has a voice, has the ability to reach people, if they're quiet and silent on this issue, or they justify this issue, they are highly compromised. Delete them, block them, get rid of them, because they do not deserve your time. They do not deserve your attention, and they are a part of the system.
And they're part of the problem.
Yes.
I love this so, Matt.
Silence is compliance.
Preach on, brother. Preach
You cannot
on.
let this happen.
Preach
and the
on.
only way that we even have a sliver of a chance to stop it is if people make enough public uproar about this that it forces President Trump to react.
I love it.
Because if everyone says, no, we don't want this, and there's a huge unanimous no throughout the entire country, and Trump refuses to even acknowledge it or look at it or goes on with it, regardless of what people say, then Trump for sure is compromised. It's proof. If the American people say, no, we don't want this, and Trump says, maybe we should look at this because people don't like this, then maybe he deserves a little bit of
I
chance.
love it. I know in the span of the entire world, the Matt Kim podcast is minuscule. We're insignificant. But I love the fact that we are taking a stance today and hopefully galvanizing, encouraging, and maybe even inspiring, don't want to use that word, people to grow a spine and to say, no, sir, we will not do this again. And so let's just create a timeline. I haven't not seen anybody since January 1st till now. January 23rd. So we're almost through January. Not a single influencer, not a single podcaster, not a single person who's on the internet who's spoken the way that you just spoke in the last 5 minutes.
Because
I'm witnessing this from this man, and this is the first time I'm hearing this type of strong, assertive language. I would love to hear what you just said from PBD.
yes.
I would love to hear what you just said from Joe Rogan. In harder terms, stronger terms. I would like to hear what you just said from Andrew Schultz. I'd like to hear what you just said from Tim Pool. Not happening. I'd like to hear I'd love choose one of those influencers. If they were to say what you just said in the last 5 to 7 minutes, I think the world will change.
Every single influencer needs to make this statement. No to the mRNA vaccines.
So somebody clip what we just said this first 15 minutes, send it to your favorite podcaster, your favorite influencer, and just say, look, fuck stick. The answer is no. We're done. These two mentally handicapped Asians are taking a stance, and they're not as valuable as you are. They're not as important as you are. You're better than them, so you should do this too.
Yes.
Is the play.
It must be a resounding, collective no. It has to be.
It has to be.
That's the only way to stop this.
Has to be. Like, and I'm feeling galvanized and encouraged about this myself, just the way that you're communicating this, Matt, because I don't have a lot of opportunities to rub shoulders with people who disagree with me out in the street. That's fair. But I feel good that we're just talking about it this honestly and with this type of strong language. It means a lot to me, not just personally.
For people who say, well, like OpenAI is a big company. Oracle's a big, good company. These are American companies. The point of this is to win the race in AI.
Yeah, because we can't have
Against
China.
China.
Yeah, we can't have China.
This is the point, right? This is the argument that people will make.
All right.
Okay. Then I think we need to break down Sam Altman. We need to break down Larry Ellison. We need to break down these people to let people know why we don't trust them. Because otherwise, if we don't give the context of why we don't trust them, people will be like, well, like you're just mad and maybe it's not that bad.
You're just a hater, man.
You're
You're
just being
not a
a hater.
billionaire. Okay, so we need to. I'd love what you just said. We need to understand the men behind the machine.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So Sam Altman used to be the CEO and founder of LinkedIn, which was funded and started with Reid Hoffman.
Yes.
They are all part of the PayPal mafia, which includes Elon Musk.
Yes.
Reid Hoffman, starting there, is maybe one of the worst people in the world. He is a known associate of Epstein, countless trips to Epstein Island.
I think it was like 13.
He is, if this list, Epstein list, ever gets released, he is one that's bold, highlighted, top of the list. It's this guy.
And let's be intellectually honest. We have a colleague of ours who is a blood brother in arms, who likes to talk about physiognomy, right, and physical attributes that reveal the worldviews and mental models behind the individual. And any cursory view and pictures of Reid Hoffman, let's be intellectually honest. Does he not look like a pedo? Like, does he not look like one? Does he not look like someone who would gladly go on a plane trip to a mysterious island? Like, he totally is the stereotypical, like, you are, sir, a degenerate and terrible human being through and through. Your physiognomy and the way that you act and the way that you talk, especially your politics, are absolutely anti-American. So I'll just say that.
Also the one that funded the Jean E. Carroll case
That's right.
against Trump.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, he's just a terrible human through and through.
And in the Reid Hoffman line of proteges and collaborators and investments, you get Sam Altman.
Yeah.
Sam Altman is a direct product of the Reid Hoffman line.
Yes.
OpenAI also has a huge investment by Microsoft, Bill Gates.
Yeah, and they're a noble enterprise.
So behind Sam Altman are Reid Hoffman, which we hate, and Bill Gates, which we hate. These are the guys that push and motivate and move Sam Altman. Creator of OpenAI, and he also has this thing called, I don't think a lot of people know, I think we might have touched on this before. Most people know Sam Altman for OpenAI and ChatGPT.
Yeah.
He also has another project called WorldCoin.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Where you get to scan your eyeballs.
WorldCoin is a cryptocurrency type of project where they are trying to solve proof of humanity. The premise is that because the internet will be filled with bots, that humans will eventually have to prove themselves as human to bots. Because humans are finite in number, actually going down, and bots replicate exponentially. You can't expect the bots to prove their botness to humans because there's always more bots.
Yeah.
So the other way around is that humans need to prove themselves to bots.
Which is, if you think about it 1 or 2 levels higher, sounds ass backwards.
I mean,
It sounds ass backwards.
it's crazy.
It sounds ass backwards.
Who's in charge if we as humans need to prove our humanity to AI?
We have to. Are you saying that we have to prove ourselves to a computer?
Yes, that's the premise of Sam Altman's WorldCoin. So what he has in different locations all over the world is that you show up there, you put your fingers on an orb, and you scan your biometrics, and you get a WorldCoin wallet and WorldCoin digital ID.
Yes, and some of the biggest and biggest growth of WorldCoin is in one of our most favorite countries, where all the SARs are. Those guys love that stuff.
India and Venezuela
Yeah.
are the two biggest adopters.
They love it. They love it, SAR.
Can you imagine a world where you show up to an orb? It's so dystopian, right? You go down this hallway.
We're there, man. We're there.
Yeah, it's like this room, big room, and there's a orb, like a silver orb at the end, and you walk down the room, and you go up there, and you scan in, and you get your digital ID.
Yep.
This is literally his project. People only know him for OpenAI. This is other project he's working on.
When you put your hands on the orb, you are transformed, Matt, into a new creation. That's it.
And the only reason, and the way that they get the adoption is that if you go scan in, they give you free world coin.
Of course.
The United States, they have regulatory issues on being able to give away free world coin for this action. So yet, that's why it's not in the country currently, but it's in other countries now.
Yes.
That seems really weird to me. Do I see the use case? Yes. Would I do it? Would you? Would you go to a orb, scan in your biometrics, and get your digital ID of proof of humanity?
Would you do it, Will?
Depends how much they're giving me.
And that's going to be the response of most people. Wait, how much are they paying?
I know.
What? When moon?
Oh, when moon. That reminds me, and I'm here's a conceit, guys. I was an ignoramus in undergrad, and I filled out 2 credit card applications for 2 large pizzas. Did you get credit card applications for free T-shirts and pizzas in college?
They always had them. I never did one.
I did them, and at the end of my, I'm just being honest. At the end of my university days, I got a notification that I owned $16,000 on this credit card that I didn't even know I had until they hit me up, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Then it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, "It was that fucking pizza."
Oh,
They gave me that fucking pizza, and I filled out that application.
It's the usury.
But I got pizza. So that's the type of shenanigans that he's doing. He's like, put your hands on the orb, become a new creation, and you get people like Will's like, how many world coins am I going to get for this? Bro, you've just been enslaved is the answer.
Better be more than 2 pizzas.
3.
Make it 3.
Well, Bill Blasio was giving away free hamburger and fries.
Yeah. Ooh. Love that Fauci ouchie.
And just remember, when they roll out these programs, the incentives rarely are the ones that work. It's not in New York City, it wasn't the free fries that got you to take the shot. It wasn't the payment or incentives and financial incentives to get you to take a shot. It wasn't the dancing vaccines or the Fauci song that got you to take the shot. What we found out that actually worked is that you take away everyone's rights.
Yep.
And you give the rights back to only those that comply.
Yes.
Everyone's banned from the bar. And the people that get the shot and show up with their ID, you guys are the one that get to go back to normal life.
Exactly.
That's how they did it. That's what they learned.
And Will is going to be enjoying his 3 pizzas and all of those world coins that he's going to have.
At the bar.
He's going to love it. You're going to love it, bro. You're going to be hanging out with all the other Fauci ouchies out there.
It is never the incentives that get you. It's the taking away of rights and giving it back to only those that comply.
And that's why we once again remind everybody out there, smash the like button, comment, and share this with your homies to let them know that there's these 2 mentally handicapped Asians who are saying no. We're saying no. Don't do it. We are no greater man than anybody that's watching us. We're just flesh and blood.
Correct.
We're not better than anybody. We're just 2 men, and if I can say this publicly, we have chosen the line, and the answer is no.
Definitely no. Hell no.
The answer is no.
Hell no.
So, guys, you don't have to take from us because we're nobodies, but I'm telling you, we're saying no.
Because really interesting about Sam Altman is that there was the OpenAI whistleblower.
Oh.
And they said that, I think his name was Balaji something. Balaji. Sorry for messing up his name. Balaji was one of the programmers, very well respected and well known within OpenAI, very young kid, maybe 23 or 24 years old.
And brilliant as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And he was a whistleblower. So he was saying that OpenAI was taking copyrighted content to feed their machine and other allegations, which they didn't want to specify. But the fact that they are stealing and using people's content information and flooding their machine and manipulating it in order to create their models.
But Matthew, lots of different AI companies and large language model companies are doing this exact same thing. So
They
this is
all
not
do
a
it.
new issue. So what makes this apology particularly special?
Because he was completely in the know.
Oh,
He was responsible for feeding the information into the machine.
oh, so he was like the SS soldier that was walking them through the wooden door into the gas chambers because the Germans are so smart that they would have gas chambers with wooden doors.
Yes.
Oh,
Don't worry about the leak. No gas leak.
no gas leaks.
gas leaks.
Yeah, no gas leaks.
It's safe for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this guy shows up, sends information to the New York Times, comes out as a whistleblower, quits OpenAI because he's like, I don't feel morally right about what's going on. Something is not right. I don't like this. This is not right.
Oh, okay.
He goes on vacation with his friends.
On his birthday.
On his birthday, they have a good time. He comes home, calls his mom. He's working on a new project. He's looking at cat memes. He's hanging out with his buddies. And all of a sudden, 2 days later, they found out that he committed suicide. That he unalived himself.
He deleted himself from the timeline.
Correct.
Oh, I see. So what you're telling me, Matt, is that it is normative behavior on your birthday to hang out and have lots of fun and then come back, immediately put 2 holes in your head?
With Amazon packages unopened on the way, with schedule and planning for the next day and the day after, with talking to your mom and having a normal conversation. Not like, oh, mom, I'm really sad. I think people who unalive themselves, especially young men, there are signs.
Oh, yeah.
They start to separate from society. Maybe they seem a little depressed. Maybe they feel like they have lost their passion and goal and they don't have a direction in their life. They become recluse, right?
Yeah, they self-isolate, yeah.
These are kind of like obvious signs that everyone knows of.
Yeah.
He showed none of them.
Oh,
And then his mom, who did an interview on Tucker,
yeah.
she says, after like 2 days, we're like, where's our son? Checks every single hospital, like maybe he got into an accident. Let's go find him.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Couldn't find him?
Shows up to his apartment, his condo, which is like gated, locked, and security cameras everywhere.
Yeah. And the police are there?
And she's like, what's going on? Like, can we open this place up?
Yeah.
The cops walk in and they're like, oh, hold on. We're just doing some investigation. Just wait outside.
Oh, yeah.
For 30 minutes, she waited outside while the cops were inside, knowing that he was dead. But they never told her.
Why?
And the only reason she found out is when the van showed up to take him off on a stretcher.
Oh, it wasn't an ambulance. It was a morgue car.
Exactly.
Oh.
And she's like, what's going on here?
So what you're saying is that the police officers, allegedly, did not allow the mother of the victim to validate the existence of her son and decided to tell her nothing?
Nothing.
That's
Just waiting.
That seems a little like an anomaly in due process.
It is completely abnormal. It is definitely not the normal cycle that you do. And she tries to go inside and...
Didn't she take some pictures?
She took pictures. She took evidence. What she found is that there is remnants of a wig on the floor, that there is blood splattered everywhere, and that they say that he shot himself.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay.
Except the angle that the bullet went down was from the forehead down backwards. So the allegation from the police is that he unalived himself by taking a gun, and instead of going like this or like this, he went like this.
And he missed the brain. This guy was so smart that he missed the brain.
He missed the brain? What a clown! He can't even unalive himself, right?
The allegation
that was mean. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
The allegation is that he shot himself from an angle like up to down. In what world has anyone saw that and be like, oh yeah, that's suicide? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And she looks at all the evidence. She takes pictures. She's like, something's not right here. She goes to the morgue. She goes to the city. She goes to the officials. And everyone's like, oh, no, there's nothing to see here. It's suicide.
Oh.
Like, nothing to see here?
Nothing to see here.
Evidence of a struggle, evidence of other people's hair and wig and weird angle. And all of a sudden, and no pattern or psychological cues that would say he would do it. And all of a sudden, he shows up, he's dead. He is the whistleblower trying to open up the doors on everything OpenAI is doing. And all of a sudden, he shows up dead in the most peculiar way. And everyone immediately says, oh, dude, what are you doing? Of course, it's obvious.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
So the thing that shocked me the most, there's a lot that is very peculiar. But if you're going to unalive yourself, you don't splatter blood all over the place. Like, that was the thing that was like, bro, it seemed like there was a struggle from the pictures. And so my thing is when this revelation, when the Tucker interview happened with the mom, my first thought was, Sam Altman, how does he sleep at night? That was my first thought. How does he sleep at night when he knows that he had to have his hand in this? He had to have had his hand in this. And my second thought, which was really sad, is that this kid sent the information, poor decision, by the way, to the New York Times, who are a bunch of rats, a bunch of narcs, right? You hate narcs. A bunch of sellouts who will immediately get a juicy story and say, "Oh man, this is worth $2,500 if I give it to this guy," and he'll and like, there's just too much. There's too many oddities in all of this, and I have to believe, which is so crazy because it's almost Hollywood movie-esque, that Sam Altman is certainly part of, let's just say, the unaliving of this individual, and it stinks. It smells. There is too much awry in this situation here.
Do you think Sam Altman hangs out with the Boeing guys?
Considering his position, he probably hangs out with a lot of those guys. And probably those are the guys who are like, hey, Sam, if you ever have a problem, I know a guy.
And we've talked about Sam Altman before.
He doesn't seem like he's a good person.
I mean, the allegation of his sister saying, "Oh yeah, he like sexually abused me when I was a kid," which is weird.
You wouldn't do that in public unless it was real, right?
Yeah, I mean, what girl makes up a lie about your brother, and he like cut her off for doing that, or he like cut her off too? It's so weird. There's so much sketchiness around this guy.
Why? So Matt, why can't we have a hero who is unblemished? Like, seriously, none of the people, and Trump, we're hoping for the best, that you're making the right decisions. But I'll tell you, damn it, like all of the people, and I don't think this is hyperbole here, all of the people surrounding him are not good people. Is there a single good person other than Thomas Massie in the Senate and leadership? Like, right?
I mean, so we talked about Sam Altman before when we were talking about AI, and we talked about Doge, and we did an episode there.
Yep.
And we talked about his link to Elon Musk because they've been together for a very long time. They're original of the PayPal mafia. They've worked together, and Sam Altman and Elon used to go back and forth about the future of AI. They actually started OpenAI together.
Yeah, as a nonprofit.
And Elon made this big fuss about, I got to leave OpenAI and I'm going to get out of here because the way Sam Altman doing is like not right.
And he's doing it for the money.
He's doing it for the money and it's not being transparent. So he goes off and he starts XAI.
Grok.
And if XAI was run like he said that Sam Altman was doing it, I mean, if he did it like the way that if he did it anti to the way that he accused Sam Altman for doing it, then there's some validity in that argument.
Yeah, because you'd be taking a different path.
Correct. Sam Altman's doing it for the money. He's stealing people's data. He's plugging into information. He's using, copyrighted content. He is doing it in a nefarious way. That was Elon's claim. He starts XAI, and the only problem with that is that he's doing and running XAI exactly the same way that he accused Sam Altman of running OpenAI.
Yes. But the only difference is Sam Altman has a $4 million Koenigsegg. So I mean, if you're doing it not for the money, then you totally buy a Koenigsegg, right? You and I are car guys, right? If you were not doing the Matt Kim podcast for money, you would totally buy a Bentley. You would totally buy a Huracan. You would totally buy a Koenigsegg, right? Isn't that how that works? If you're not doing it for the money, you buy the most expensive car on the planet.
Sam Altman is kind of a douche. That's what he's known as, which is why people don't like him. He's a douche. And Elon says, this guy's not honest, so I'm going to do it differently. And then he does it the same exact way. So again, something I brought up before. The most interesting thing of all these AI models, because Elon Musk, who says he's going to do it honestly and do it transparently, is doing a closed system. No one knows how it works. No one knows what data is gathering. Actually, every single thing you put into X is feeding the machine.
Yeah, you're training his machine.
So when you take a movie and you put it into there and you upload it and they let it be on there for some reason, they're using that data. When you take someone else's article and you put it into X, they're putting it in there. When you put up cat pictures and your videos and all of this is training the machine. Mm-hmm. They say that they clearly outline that they're doing it. They're not hiding that.
Yeah.
But what they did was, we're going to do it transparent, meaning the algorithm and the AI should be open source.
Should be.
That is what transparency means.
Yeah.
XAI is not open source. Mm-hmm. The X algorithm is not open source. Mm-hmm. You know what company is the only open source AI out there?
I think it's Zuckbucks.
Zuckerberg.
Zuckbucks.
Zuck's AI for Meta is the only open source AI.
Probably.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, it's probably because he's on testosterone now. I mean, that turns you into something different.
I mean, he totally did sneak a peek at Jeff Bezos' girl's boobs.
Can you blame him though?
I mean,
can you? So let's finish out this. Let's finish out this circle with AI and biology. Do you think this is going to end up being essentially a sinkhole, nothing burger? Like his mama is going to get no justice. Is that the end of the story?
Of course. There's too much to lose for the AI companies. They don't want this happening.
Yeah, one little SAR is not going to stop them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They don't care about SAR. That's just reality. And we make light of it and we make fun of the poo flingers all the time. But the reality is, like, that's not right.
No.
We make fun of people because we believe it's our right to do so. But we also believe in humanity.
Yes.
And we have no desire to encourage the offing of fellow humans.
Oh, we're anti-harm all the way.
Correct. And that was very nefarious. There are question marks all over it. It is implicated into direct involvement from AI companies. And the reality is that no one wants to touch this because if this information that he had was to get out into the world, it not only harms OpenAI, but harms all the AI companies because all the AI companies are doing the same practice of stealing your material and using it to train the machine. That is your ideas, your words, your pictures, your videos that they are taking from you. And it's like, no, like you shouldn't put it online anyway. No, they don't own the whole internet. If you put something on Facebook, they can't cross scrub and take your stuff, which is what they're doing.
Do you have a Gmail account? All of your information in your email is being given to the NSA. If you didn't know, like, brother, like, to live today, you got to be on the internet. You just have to pick your poison. Who are you going to give your data to now?
Sam Altman and Reid Hoffman, bad guys.
Bad people, which should inform your decisions around Trump and choosing these. It's like, bro, you got three individuals in there. We're going to go to the other two. But three out of those three individuals, all three of them are, let's just say, wrapped in peculiar situations, all three of them.
And then you have pregnant Bill Gates.
Pregnant Bill Gates.
He is obviously not our favorite.
Dude, he's a terrible human being.
He wants to get you to stop eating meat and eat bugs.
I think we covered this before, but I think this is worth noting. You know his parents, right? His parents were part of, let's just say...
eugenics.
Yes, that's a good word. Yes, they were both part of the eugenics mission, right? So one could, I think, rationally say that having both of his parents into the eugenics world, you could say that maybe rubbed off on him just a little bit. Is that a fair statement?
If you like cars and your wife like cars, your kid, they're going to like cars.
Logic is sound.
If you are a musician and your wife is a musician, your kid going to grow up kind of musically.
Logic is sound.
If you believe in offing the human race and your wife believes in offing the human race, the kid probably can at least consider and have that be a part of their worldview.
Sounds like solid logic.
This is a guy, and I don't think anyone listening is like, we love Bill Gates. I don't think anyone thinks that. And they leave his name out of this because they know how negative that name association would be, which is even more deceiving.
Yeah. It actually reveals like the intentions. Like if you're not going to name the guy.
Because Elon Musk goes, oh, yeah, I know that they're doing this, but they don't have the money anyway. And Bill Gates comes out and he says, well,
actually, we do.
Actually, I'm good for my 80 billion. I don't know about the other guys, but I have my 80 billion.
Yeah, we good. We good, bro. I got
like, wait,
you. I got 5 on it.
Bill Gates is involved? They didn't tell us that. But he's like, oh, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Why was he not on that stage?
Well, maybe.
Why did they purposely leave him off that stage when they were parading around the tech people involved?
Well, maybe the Maha and the MAGA group don't like him too much, but they're okay with these other tech oligarchs because they're cool.
Because, for people that don't know, Larry Ellison is the founder and CEO, co-CEO, of Oracle.
Which, I will say one thing to this. Oracle has all of your data. By the way, proven. Google it if you want, but you dig deep enough, Oracle has all of American data. It has everything.
And Oracle was started as an investment from the CIA.
Of course. And
The
the Department of Defense, yeah.
People don't realize, a lot of people know, some people don't know, that the CIA has their own investment arm.
Oh, yeah. Deep pockets.
And the CIA's investment arm started and funded Oracle. Oracle, by the way, is also who owns all of TikTok's data. People are like, oh, China, the Chinese are getting the data. The Chinese are getting all the TikTok data. You can't let the Chinese get the kids' data.
You can't have it.
You can't have it.
Yeah.
Dude, Oracle owns it. They're not, the data centers for TikTok aren't in China. They're in Texas and the Oracle servers.
Boop, 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 boop. You got pwned.
I don't even know where this logic comes from. Oh, you can't let the Chinese have the TikTok data. What are you talking about?
They're all sharing data.
TikTok servers are literally housed by Oracle in Texas.
Yes.
Oracle owns the TikTok data. They own your data.
Everything.
They own all the data.
They own it all.
And he has come out many times before saying that I envision a world where people will be safe.
Yes, yes.
And the people will self-control themselves because once we start surveilling everywhere, cameras in every car, does that happen? Camera in every building, camera on every street corner, camera on every single police car, cameras on everyone's chest. If everyone has a camera and we can surveil the world, people will commit less crime because everyone will feel wary about it.
Yes.
He has said this many times.
Yes.
Larry Ellison believes in a mass surveillance state.
A mass-controlled state, yes.
He believes that the only way to prevent crime and people from acting out against government and against the people and against the leadership is to surveil every single thing that you do and collect data on all of it and use AI to categorize it. This is not conspiracy theory. He has said this many times before.
Yes, he has.
Not just once or 3 times. Like every time he goes on a speech, this is what he talks about.
Yes.
This is what he's known for.
This is his thing. This is the hill that he's going to die on.
This is a guy that we're putting in charge and letting invest $500 billion to start scraping all of your data for the government.
Yeah. Yeah. And when they release the newest mini camera that you can put anywhere to surveil your homies and to surveil your friends and let them know that they are being recorded, you will love it and you will enjoy it and you'll say, yes, sir, give me more.
You create as much crime and chaos as possible, which we had for the last 4 years.
Oh.
You make the cities feel unsafe.
Oh.
You make looting out of control. You make petty crime, petty theft out of control. You make car break-ins out of control. You make break-ins into businesses and homes out of control. And the solution is we will just add more cameras for your safety, for your benefit. And the people living in those cities goes, please give us more surveillance. Please give us more control. Please put these everywhere because we don't feel safe. And thank God the government has come to save us and make us feel better.
Yes.
They are literally doing this in real time. We are living through it. And they are telling you they're doing it because the person that literally advocates this and for this way of life is in charge.
Yes. Please, Tsar, give me more oppression, Tsar. That's what they're saying in the cities. Yes, please, Tsar, give me more. I want more. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We are choosing our own demise by selecting these individuals to lead us into this tech oligarchy like hellhole that we're going to be going into.
People think that when the government shows up and tries to change the way you live, when the government shows up and tries to enact different ways to strip away your freedoms, people think that means the government comes and forces on you. It's not. What they do is they create this situation so bad that you ask for it. It's so disgusting.
It's insidious. That's what it is. It's
you create the
insidious.
problem to solve it later.
Yeah. It's the problem reaction solution. That's what it is. The problem reaction solution. They create they manufacture the problem. They measure, just like we talked about in that other episode, they're measuring and tracking the reaction so that they can create the appropriate solution. That's how it works. Problem, reaction, solution. They're doing a pretty good job because there's a lot of humans in America and all over the world that are accepting of this, and they don't realize that they're actually accelerating their own demise.
Have you learned nothing from 4 years of COVID?
Thank you for saying it that way. The answer is, Matt, no. There are people out there who have learned literally nothing. There are still people that you can find on matrices, Facebook's, X, Instagram. You can still find people who are literally still pissed off that other people around them aren't wearing face diapers. They're still pissed off. I mean, about these things that are 4 years ago. They're so mind controlled because they've self-isolated. They have no connection with the rest of the world, and their only inbound to their brain is the talking head that they watch on MSNBC, that homo, every day. Seriously.
Let's just lay out the timeline. Because now that we're years separated from it, we see the timeline more clearly.
Oh, yeah.
They manufactured a disease. They manufactured the solution. They told you and forced people to take it. And now they want to manufacture another one.
Yeah, and we're just going to bend over, Matt, and we're going to say, yes, massa, please give me more.
If you don't realize, in every step of the way, it was manufactured, it was manufactured, it was manufactured,
That's a good way
it
to
was
say it.
manufactured.
Yes.
None of it was organic. None of it was a reaction. Everything was created with purpose, by design, and this is where we're at.
Matt, that sounds awfully conspiratorial of you to say that way.
I'm just laying out the timeline. These things happened. When you were in the middle of it, it seems like it's not manufactured because you didn't know better.
Yeah.
Your decision matrix is based on the input that you give it.
Yep.
And when we were given flawed data, then naturally people will make mistakes in their decision. I don't blame anyone that made a mistake, actually. During the 4 years of COVID, especially for the first 2 years of COVID, anyone that made a mistake or understood the situation incorrectly, I actually don't blame you.
I would agree with that.
Because the information you had was flawed.
And this has never happened before in our lifetime. So
you didn't have context to make a decision.
Yeah.
The propagandists lied to you, knowingly lied to you over and over and over again. The people you trusted lied to you over and over again. How would you know that they're lying to you when you trusted them 1 year ago?
Well, we have the nail in the coffin now because those individuals are now pardoned for all eternity. You can never sue or take these guys to court. They are untouchable, Matt.
Stephen Colbert's still around.
Ooh, can we take him down?
I mean, he literally created a vaccine dance and jingle.
Yes, he did.
No accountability.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot of those talking heads that probably should go down. Most of them are just homos, so that's why they should leave.
All these people, anyone that is silent on this issue right now is compliant.
Ooh, complicit.
You have to say something about it. Because, again, if Trump or the team or anyone comes out and they say, hey, we're going to do a press conference, we're going to talk about the repercussions and the dangers of the first COVID shot, of the first Fauci juice.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss it. We're going to address it. We're going to have an open forum. We'll let you ask questions. We'll let scientists dig into the data that we have. We'll be open, transparent, and then we'll discuss why we can do it better than the second time around. Look,
You're asking too much, bro. You're asking for them to admit to the fact that they lied, manipulated everything the entire way through. It's never going to happen.
would I be happy about that? Would I trust them? I don't know.
You wouldn't
but
trust
I would
them.
at least be willing to listen.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
fair.
If
That's transparency.
If Fauci came out and said, guys, like, we wouldn't give him a pass. But if he said, guys, I was misinformed, I lied, I made bad decisions, ABC, XYZ, like, fair enough, I did wrong, like, that would be one step in the right direction of healing a nation who needs healing. But he will never do that. And it wouldn't give him a pass. I still think he needs to go to jail. But it would soften the blow. Does that make sense? It's like, okay, at least you have some humanity left. If you're, a little bit of humanity.
This is what we did. This is why we did it. This is where we went right. This is where we went wrong. This is actually a very simple format.
Not hard.
That press conference, that report, that whatever you want to call it, it is a prerequisite to moving on to the next step.
Yeah.
Without doing that first, no one can even consider the second step.
Your logic is sound.
That's just how things work in life. That's how business works.
You should not move on from getting scammed with the Trump coin to going, they're not going to do it with Melania. Right? I mean, come on. I mean, they did a bad thing. I bought it at $70 and then it tanked to $30. Like, but this Melania thing, guys, you got scammed once. There is no resolution to the scam. They have not admitted that it's a scam. You got scammed, and now they're throwing a new scam in front of you. You have to reconcile and close the loop of the first scam. We're 4 years deep. There's been no one's admitted anything. So your logic is sound. How can you accept the new shiny thing when the old thing is still a problem? It's still, people are still dying. Like, we haven't even resolved that. That's the problem with all this trauma bombing, this up and down roller coaster. It's like nothing ever gets resolved. It's one trauma bomb and all this like psyop and psychological damage to the entire populace. And before we have an opportunity to reconcile and close the loop, we move on to this other one and everyone suddenly forgets that you just got scammed for 4 years. Matt, I'm not feeling like I feel encouraged that what we're talking about is good, and we're putting a line in the sand and saying no more. But at the same time, my anxiety is building a little bit around this because I know that there's going to be tens of millions of humans in America who are going to take the next scam and they're going to propagate it. They're going to make it even. There is a chance, Matt. I hope it doesn't come to pass, but there is a chance that this next round of the scam juice could be even worse. Could you imagine how bad? Like, how could it get worse? We had hundreds of thousands of businesses shut down in the first year. We had hundreds of thousands. I remember the last. It was like 5 times in the second year as many businesses. So like millions of businesses shut down in the second year. Like we retarded the growth of America, and we retarded the education of America. And I think some of this damage is almost irreparable. Does that make sense? I mean, what do you think? TLDR, what do you think? Do you think the population of America is savvy enough, they're frosty enough that they're going to say no, or do you think it's going to be worse? What do you think?
We can only try.
So that's why we're here talking about it?
That's why we have to talk about it.
I mean, I hope you guys are listening. These, like, I don't know how frustrated and upset I will be if we wake up and it's clear as day that the trajectory of America is they've drank the scam Kool-Aid a second time and we're moving into lockdown. That shit would upend me, man. That shit would upend me. It's like, are you fucking serious? You got scammed? You got scammed again? Like, it like totally removes the ability for me to look at other humans and say, you're smart, or you're intelligent, or you're sophisticated, or you're a thoughtful individual. It's like, no, You have 3 diapers on your face. You have this, I just got jabbed with this new thing sticker on your chest. Like, you're stupid. Like,
We were not going to record today. It was not on the schedule
Yeah.
for us to record today. But I said, Peter, emergency meeting. We have to do this immediately because this is too important to wait till next week. We need to get it out now.
Yep. And my body was ready.
If anything, during the inauguration, we were told what the hierarchy of decision making will be. President Trump sat in the front. Next row behind was the tech oligarchs.
Yo. Obviously.
Sundar and Zuck and Bezos
Yep.
and Elon right behind. And behind him was a cabinet.
Yep.
The tech oligarchs who you did not vote for, who are not a part of the campaign. Actually, you did not know that they'd be on stage because we just found out that they're in the club after the election was over. They were put in front of the cabinet. The tech oligarchs were front and center for everyone to see. They are in charge now.
They wouldn't do that purposely for any symbolism, would they?
Symbolism will be their downfall.
It's pretty obvious at this point, isn't it?
If we had known, if the people that voted for Trump knew that, number one, they're going to create AI-driven mRNA vaccines.
Duh.
If we had known that Bill Gates would be involved in the administration, if we had known that Zuck would be involved in the administration, if we had known that Sundar would be involved in the administration, if we had known that Bezos would be involved in the administration, if we knew that Sam Altman would be involved in the administration, if we knew
Ellison.
that Larry Ellison would be involved in the administration, if we knew that Reid Hoffman would be involved in the administration, no one would have voted for him.
Your logic is sound.
Nobody.
I wouldn't vote for him.
Of course not.
No way. These are going to be the leaders of our country?
Then what's going on here? Trust the plan. Keep your enemies close. It's 4D chess. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. You sound like the leftists who defended the COVID lockdowns the first time. That's exactly what you sound like.
Oh, man, you're just making too much sense. My brain is exploding.
If something is wrong, say it's wrong immediately. There is no trust the plan, trust the leadership. Dude, when has the leaders ever made your life better?
Not wrong.
They always make it worse.
Not wrong.
Progressively over time, it gets worse always. Every leader that comes in power, they say, we're going to reduce the size of government. They always expand it.
Yep, never
We're going to
happened.
spend less money. They always spend more. And like, no, this time's different. That's what you say every single fucking time someone gets elected. This time's different. Hold your leaders accountable to the promises they made. And if they try to show up and through a back door say, oh, no, just kidding. Like, this is what you voted for. No, we didn't. We did not vote for Bill Gates. We did not vote for Elon Musk, although some of you guys did. We did not vote for Zuck. We did not vote for Bezos. We did not vote for this shit.
Yes.
You got to let them know. Because if enough people say, we don't like it, he has to react. And if he doesn't react, he doesn't care about you.
And then you know how the chess pieces are played, right? If
Only way to know where he truly stands is to push back as hard as possible.
So it sounds like our free thinker army and the people who love to help us get us out of purgatory because the censors and the SARs and all those tiny hats are deleting our videos. They're demonetizing everything. They're going through all of our content and all of our hours of time, and they're making sure that they're censoring us and closing us off. What it sounds like you're asking for is the free thinker army and people who appreciate this. They need to at Donald Trump or at POTUS with this video and say, look, these 2 mentally handicapped Asians are really upset about getting rug pulled the first time. We've recognized the realities of what we thought we voted for. We did not vote for the tech oligarchy, and frankly, we're a little upset.
Pissed off.
So please, at POTUS, at Melania, at the new Melania coin, the Trump coin, whatever you got to do, let them know. These 2 really stupid Asians are upset about the patterns that we are noticing, and it seems like we're headed into chapter 2 of the same damn thing that we went through in the last 4 years. Is that what we're saying, Matt?
1 time, 2 times is a coincidence. 3 times, 4 times is a trend. We are in pattern.
So, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Cannot let the shit stand.
I'm with that.
Like the video.